Hey, Turtle Peter. Is my mic working? It looks like it's working. Okay. We have Navi or Koi first. So, is there a team that you guys prefer me to watch first? I'm going to look back through my other notes quickly to see what I need to do. I could put here like Bangkok, meta considerations, impact, Teo, Euro Teo Vice, clearly the meta, but T1 winning. Plays a play what's best for you. I disagree with this second narrative. The more people play Tejo. Hey guys, hey Mr. Ant, what do you mean by prep? Like notes for casting? Well, I'm gonna be doing analyst desk and casting. So yes, I want to be able to understand what teams are doing. Hey Aruka, and hey Switchblade or Switchblade. Yeah, so I want to be able to know what people are doing and have like things in my head about what they're doing. So I'm just gonna read back my notes from yesterday quickly. There was a lot by Batu and Floor for Apex. A lot about their standard kind of play. The map pool we didn't really get to see. Kamakor. I was thinking about this a bit more today and I added some notes. Kamakor, I think Harbor Omen is especially what we need to kind of lock down on. Harbor, it's almost like... It's almost like... Because Eng likes Harbor and Sadak likes Harbor, they're almost like enabling each other. Enabling each other with the... But I think that the reason why Loud were good with the Harbor was a lot because of the Viper, and not because of the Harbor specifically. So it's almost like I think they've got the wrong read. I have a lot to say about this team, I think. Yeah, I've got a lot to say about this team. A lot of good stuff and a lot of things that I'm questioning. I need to go through some of this stuff. And they keep playing comps that are like attack-sided in a way where their defense side, like Aang is having to come up with stuff on defense that to me is like crazy. Like they're having to fill gaps on their defense in a way that like this, their best comp, I think, is their buying comp. I know that seems like looking back at it like in advance, but like their buying comp was probably, well, it looked best for them, but it was also like it worked on attack despite it being like it having like defense agents, if you know what I mean. Whereas like the other comps they play often have like attack sidedness. Like if you're playing Fade, I don't know why, but like I feel like Fade's like an attack agent on some of the maps they're playing it. And then defense, they got to work it out. Like this comp on defense, I don't know how you're supposed to play defense with this comp at all. This comp on defense, I'm not really sure how you're supposed to do anything. Like you can't take aim in, you can't take rebel control. And then this comp, they played the same macro for 24 rounds in a row, so... Yeah, there's something going wrong. There's something going wrong. Am I coming back as a caster for Memea? I'll be doing some casting and I'll be doing some analyst desk. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I don't know. Like, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. And I imagine that will happen for the. I think that should happen for the rest of the year. Is that I'm still gonna be developing the casting side too. Hey Satili. So who wants Navi? Who wants Koi? Who are we going for first, guys? Koi or Navi? Koi or Navi? Which team's getting flame first? We've got one Navi. We've got one Koi. Imagine they fire you for leaking that. I don't think they care. Koi. We got some Koi boys. Some Koi boys in the chat, and a Navi straight back at you. The next person to type wins. No, they don't actually, because Navi needs to. Navi first, so much to it. Okay, Navi first. Navi first. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about with Navi is, and I don't know how I'm going to phrase this for broadcast, because it's very difficult to phrase it for broadcast.
The longer the time goes on, we're just going to realize that Minis are frauds, man.
Did that sound like a reasonable volume? Did you hear Sticky Flaming me there? Thank you very much, meant to be. I appreciate the sub a lot. I hope when I say I appreciate the subs that people genuinely think I do appreciate, because I do appreciate it, guys. I do appreciate it. Volume was good. Nice. Navi lost to KC and Fnatic, so they're not too awful. I don't think Navi or KC are awful by any means. I do think that, like, because I hold them to a higher standard, I'm probably going to see more mean. You demand a refund, no appreciation out there? Jesus. Right, so the first thing I want to talk about in Navi is that what do you guys, what were your expectations for Navi pre-kickoff? Like, where did you think they would land? Because in my head, the org, like, I don't know, 5th to 6th. Figure that, okay, let's not say about the start of the season, like midway through the season, where do you think they're going to be? See, this is the problem. So we already got a 5th to 6th, and someone's saying not very good, and someone's saying they're starting slow. And I'm going to presume a lot of you are going to say that, like, you wanted to donate. We don't have a donate link. Okay. I mean, I could add a donate link at some point, but you don't. This year's been weird for me because, like, I do need money this year a little bit, but, like, I don't need money because there's a break here. So, like, I don't really feel like we'll see. If next year I'm struggling, then I'll add a donate link, but I probably don't need one. So a lot of people were saying like middle of the pack or like lower side of the pack. So like for me, my next thing is then like what could Navi possibly do with their roster for you guys to think that they should be higher than that? What the fuck is that? Balex, you can't do that. Because that made a noise that I don't like. That made a noise that I do not like. How do I get rid of this shit, man? How do I get rid of this shit? It's not restream, is it? It's not restream I'm looking for. What's the other thing I'm looking for? What is the thing I was using for all these noises? These noises have caused me more grief than fun already. I'm such a bad streamer. Streamlab, that's it. Thank you very much. Oh, I can't be asked. If you keep annoying me, I'll just I'll just ban you. Ban you for giving me money. Right, anyway. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, Navi, like, what I'm trying to get at is that Hero was like the player that most teams were like looking at in the off season as like their #1 pick. Like in terms of draft, Hero became like one of the #1 picks, right? When Fnatic like got rid of him. And so why was Navi able to get him over anyone else? And I mean, let's be real, it's because they probably offered him the most. like Navi did not fuck around this offseason, I don't think. Like, from what I understand, they did not fuck around. So to me, if they get the first draft picks of who they want to build the team around, and they're spending money, like, to me, their expectations need to be higher than what you guys are saying. And so it's like this weird thing where it's like, you guys are like saying, oh, they're just like a 5th, 6th team. And I'm like, well, they can't be a 5th, 6th team. They're not allowed to be a 5th, 6th team if they're literally like, you know, building their team for success, if you know what I mean. Ruksik was always really wanted. I would not be surprised if Ruksik was really wanted. I think that he's having troubles right now. I mean, we can go into that later, but like, so like, how do we approach this narrative where like, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that stuff, but like, it's pretty obvious that Na'Vi they opened the bank account a little bit this off season, and their expectations as an organization is not going to be 5th to 6th, and yet you guys are like, yeah, 5th to 6th. So like, org expectations, I think. So like, I think the team goals are like genuinely high due to first draft in the off season, if that makes sense. Like, hero specifically. So, but general expectations 5th-ish publicly. This is too low. Like, what I'm trying to get at is like, if they come 5th this year and you guys are like, oh, yeah, they should have come 5th, who's to blame at that point? Like, who is to blame? Because I think the org isn't expecting them to be a 5th place team. Like, it's like, what happens? Does Angel finally get like kind of like, all right, you've had your time now? Or is the org like, well, we haven't run this project properly? Or like, what? How does that work? Let's be real, they need Doom Bros back. We're actually trying now? What do you mean? So, like, so my vision for this team, from an outsider point of view, was like Happy was gonna come in and like make this a slightly more standard approach team. But what actually happened with their comps? They played some standard comps, right? I mean, this is a bit messy. This is a kind of standard, I guess. Kind of standard. So they played one Teho. They played Teho once. Like, this is the shit where I'm like, at what point, like, has Navi ever been good at Lotus? I think the Lotus one's really throwing me. Not, the answer's no. They have never been good at Lotus. 1, 2, 3. How many different comps is this, man? Like, this is the type of shit. This page is the type of shit that Navi needs to stop doing, basically. Like, this is what I hate. Like, I really don't like what's going on. Like, Happy doesn't do standard comps. Okay, I guess what I mean is, like, I thought that, like, I think Angel's strength is as an IGL and as a cooler. And he's good at supporting the tactical side, but I don't think it should be his vision. Like, that's my call. And that's a pretty bold thing to say. But I think his strengths, like, it's like, I'm like a defender of Angel on half of the shit he does, but the other half, I hate it, if that makes sense. Like, if they played standard comps, they would genuinely be better, I think. Their best map this tournament, right, was Abyss, right? Where they played just the most bog standard, like a Fracture, they played like a standard comp. Like, let's be real, even it's outdated meta comp. Both the maps they've won are outdated meta comps. Like, they're standard comps, they're outdated, and yet they're still winning. I know it's like a very low sample, and like you could kind of argue that, like, I mean, this isn't standard. It's kind of standard, I guess. Pro is standard, so I guess that's like a 2-1. I don't know. I think that's my point of view, whether or not the evidence actually is there for me to use, to be honest. I think part of the other part of the narrative that I'm gonna need to try and hit is that, like, when I watched their Bind defense, they played like 10 different defense setups to me that are very like loose. And they have a bunch of players in their team that aren't experienced players anymore. They have like 3 young inexperienced players. And so, like, to play that kind of like loose defense to me is not good. Like, Rooksik looks lost on this team. Like, coming into the season, like, how many times have I said that like a player's going to be good in a season? Like, openly said publicly, this player's going to be sick, and they've not been sick. I think Rooksik is the first one where like he's come to tier 1 and he doesn't look good, and I don't think that's a Rooksik problem necessarily, because like I trust myself like a lot. Like, I trust what I've scouted in the past. I trust that vision. So like, it's really weird that like Rooksik isn't good. Maybe he isn't good at tier 1. I don't know, but like he can't be that sick at tier 2 and then just suddenly be like looking like this. What do you think about Liquid Serial Killer? That guy looks pretty good. I don't know much about him though. I've not like been tracking tier 2 like I did in the past. The other thing is, yeah, Koala Noob is probably one of the most experienced Euro players in the world. I didn't play Euro. They played Euro on one map. What are even their roles right now? So Shao covers Astra hero. This is like, why is he playing Astra? Oh, they played the double smoke comp. That's why. Heroes looked very uncomfortable in Vice, right? Yeah, Hero did not have a fun time on Vice. Like Rusik, I mean, Rusik didn't do badly. Too many times. Like, his stats are not bad here, but he was throwing a lot of rounds, I'm not gonna lie. Like, he was playing like a chamber so many rounds. Any particular reason for Hero's dip in performance? To put... Okay, you're asking like the most biased person in the world. But I think that the system that Fnatic has, or had, is much more complementary to having young players than what I saw from Na'Vi this year. Na'Vi were running some very, like, giving player, like, it looked like they were giving their players a bit more free, a lot more freedom than what we do. And I think with young players, giving them freedom is often a mistake, especially if like they're playing that role. Hero was slotting into like a system that was already there, and all he had to do was do what we said, and there was no pressure for him to play well. Almost like whenever we have like a sub, like the pressure is all on the rest of the boys, and like the fifth player isn't supposed to do anything. Like when Hero came in, when Kamek came in and Hero came in, it was the conversation pretty much goes, your job is to like we is like I try to get Boaster to have the talk. I call it like the talk, whereas like when we have a sub, like all new players think that they want to be like, oh, this is gonna be it. Like if I 30 bomb my first game tomorrow with Fnatic, like I'm gonna be like, you know, that's gonna be everything. And it's like if you start thinking like that, you immediately I know they're gonna play like shit. So like I really tried to focus on like getting those kind of players like not think that they're the shit and like not make like a big deal out of like their first game and stuff. So try and use them more like just a glue player almost. And then as they get comfortable, they can start like, you know, you saw Hero was actually making quite a lot of like good lurk plays and stuff. There were stuff that we didn't really like go through with him that much. So that was nice to see. But at the start, it's just about making sure that they're just not in their head trying to be the world's best player, because they don't need to be like in those situations. Whereas on this team now, he was the first draft kind of player. Like he's supposed to be one of the star players on the team. Like Happy's come out and said that like he was, you know, one of the first picks that they had and how sick he was and all that stuff, you know what I mean? Like it's a different expectation than like, you know, bro, you're supposed to be our worst player in our team. Can you just like fill the role for us? Like now it's a lot different, you know what I mean? Not to say that he was the worst player on our team or anything, but that was kind of like, you know, we didn't expect him to have to do too much. If you give them more freedom, you also have more room for error. Yes. These players are not like young, inexperienced players that don't know the macro game. Like they don't know the macro game to the level that the experienced players do. So why would you want them to make decisions when we can tell them what to do? It's basically how I see it. So yeah, expectations for stage one. What do you guys think then? Like pre-kickoff, we're saying like mid-table. The org's investment. So like making playoffs is the expectations. If Navi come out of this year and have not made an international event, what do they do with their team? Drop Angel. Rebuild with Happy. Bring in Alexi B. Is Hero even considered a new player anymore? He has to be, yes. He played a champs with us. Like he played like 3 months with Fnatic. 3 months with Fnatic is pretty good, but like that's not, you're not an experienced player after playing 3 months with Fnatic. You think Happy's a big catch? I'm a bit concerned about what the vision is with Happy. I don't know what his vision is. To me, this still feels like Angel's team. This is quite a big one, I think. Where's the coaching staff? Why is there no staff? They have no staff, right? They got 2 performance coaches. Is that the husband and wife duo? I know there's a husband and wife duo that are performance coaches. I don't want to randomly just couple people together, but could be. I do remember we had an application from... Follow-up question. Should Angel be on Smokes? No, because Rooksik. They built the team with Rooksik on Smokes. They can't... What are they supposed to do? What roles are they supposed to do? I don't want to see Angel play KO again. I don't want this fucking IGL KO shit. It's everyone knows it's not good at this point, surely. You guys are brutal, man. I think that Angel keeps his spot in this team if he starts focusing on mid-rounding and structure and not wackiness, in my opinion. Yeah, that's my read. Should we watch some so players individuals? So again, so Angel off raw, Rooksik having Rooksik. What's Koala Noob stats looking like? Well, how was he playing? It's not good, is it? I mean, it's not great. A Shao, like, is Shao looking like is anyone in this team actually looking good? Like not really. I guess, okay, this is the question. Like, how does Angel Happy dynamic work? Feels like an Angel style team. Or is this just because they have similar visions? Like, I don't really know what the M80 vision was. Like, I watched one game from M80, it was the finals, and their attack side was, to put it bluntly, not very good. They walked around as a 5-man pack and looked lost. And then defense, it looked like just standard horizontal string rotations. Like, I don't remember anything being like, oh my god, they're like pushing out or anything. Any stats to pull? Hello, Turkman. Ray, would you be surprised if only KC makes Teal champs? What does that mean? What does that mean? He can't avoid KO though. I mean, I would genuinely put him on whatever is not the other initiator. Like, if that's Teo, you put him on Teo. If it's Sova, you put him on Teo. On Sova. Gunter was a big part of M8's success. Is this for Coach Potato subs only? No? What? Bro, I can't stream on Twitch and kick people who aren't subs for Coach Potatoes. Hey, Captain Cal. How you doing, Cal? There's some stats I'm thinking about, Cal, right now. I might need your help at some point. I don't think they're anything too massive though. I don't know what stats I'd want to pull for a Na'Vi though. To be honest with you, it's probably like, it's unfortunately maybe Hero 2024 versus 2025. Like, that's like the inexperienced 3, like how they're kind of struggling right now. Yeah. I'm not asking you, Cal, to I'm not asking you to do anything at the moment, obviously. Ram Central when Koala has the ult versus doesn't. Is that a narrative I need to look into? Team relies on up for defense. Is that what you think? Is that something you guys, when you watch like Sliggy or something, that's what he's been saying? I don't disagree. I'm just wondering if you guys, like, where you guys are thinking about that. Because a few of you are saying it. Is this shit thing something you did with Fnatic when you're coach? No, what I did with Fnatic would be my anti-shots would look something like this, and I know it's a bit confusing, and I don't want to. I clicked this before, but I probably shouldn't show this stuff. Where like I would show like the key things that the other team does, and have some like links to rounds specifically. I wonder what this hyperlink is here. A foot game versus Trace. Looks like. I think this is foot images. This stuff I've never done this before. This is the first time I've ever like wrote stuff like this because it's more generic.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, this stuff doesn't matter. Like, who cares about all this shit I'm writing down? Not like for Nightwear, I'm gonna care. If I said any of this to the boys, they're like, why are you telling me this? Their overall approach, Navi, Angel, style, wonky comps, unique strategies, tactics, re-pushing defenses. I'd say they're like at times lack of structure. I'd say that there's a bit of lack of structure right now at times, but I have to watch VODs and just double check. Meta read. What the fuck is their meta read? They don't have a meta read. They're basically no little Euro. Teo play. What do they fucking like? It is kind of standardish. Standard. Standard old meta plus wonky comps I'd put. What is the actual map pool? I'll check Vita. Next page. What is their pistol? Quickly. Oh shit. Let's just look at 2. 1 out of 2. 1 out of 4. 2 out of 6. 2 out of 6. Plus 1 out of 2. 2 out of 4. 4 out of 6. So I mean it's bang average, right? 6 out of 12. It felt like Doom Bros, like, it felt like from my POV when Doom Bros was in Navi, it was like Doom Bros' like almost main job on the team, and I don't know if this is true, was to do the scanning. That's what it felt like. And then Angel would have like his kind of crazy scientist cooking laboratory of hit and miss. Prep for casting and desk. Okay. Any other stats that I would need here? I don't know. Okay, let's look at the map VO and pages. Navi. Are there any other narratives here about Navi that you think I'm missing so far? Okay. Is it worth talking about Doom Bros? I mean, I should probably put him in. I mean, something you can talk about at some point, I guess. If they continue to look bad, you kind of got to point to that as a potential thing. Okie dokie. So, Navi ban fracture, Navi ban bind. That's interesting. So who did they play first? They play Casey first. I always put it this way around if they played first. So they banned Fracture first week, left it open, banned bind because it got 13-2'd. Like they got literally like 13-2'd here. Ban bind. Ironically, wasn't this actually like a terrible veto for Fnatic, technically? Although I think that Navi, I think that Fnatic's Pro is actually probably okay in the grand scheme of things. But they did get Fracture and Haven. Nah, it's a bad. It's an extreme. This veto is so bad for Navi. It's unbelievable. They got veto fucked here. Yeah. In what world do you give Fnatic both Fracture and Haven? Their map pool is bad because Navi are not good at. Their map pool is weak, right? It's weak. They've got the way I describe it is that there are some teams historically that have like Paper Rex. One of their problems is that they always have one or two maps that they just aren't that good on. And when you get into a deep international tournament, having two maps you're not good on just means you auto lose series, basically. So like they've struggled on Lotus, and Bind. Anything else that they were struggling on? But like when I mean struggle, I mean like they have a terrible Lotus because they've historically had a terrible Lotus, and I got 13-2'd on Bind. So like the map pool is not looking great. But then Bind. Oh wait, what's going out of the pool? Bind and Abyss, right? And Ascent and Icebox is coming in. I think Ascent is. I think that's pretty decent for Navi. Obviously, them looking okay at Abyss is probably not great, but I think historically Navi have liked Ascent. Were they any good at Icebox last year? They played a lot of comps on this map. The answer is not really. Ascent coming back is a stable map for them though. Like I think Ascent. Like if I was to choose an IGL to IGL on Ascent, I'd probably pick Angel. I think he has the strongest mid rounding on Ascent, or the strongest both opener cooling and mid round cooling on Ascent that we've seen. I think historically, I could be wrong, but I've always been impressed with Angel's cooling. Thank you very much. I cannot read your name because I don't know how to speak that language, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the sub. Why didn't Siggy flame me? Why is the noise not working now? Siggy didn't flame me on the sub. It's probably something like this, right? They probably thought it was like this, but it wasn't. The problem is they then beat Fnatic's Fracture, right? So like, it's probably like... It's quite hard to actually put these into like actual perspective. It's probably something like that. Or a split. We don't know where the split actually lies, but it's not high. It's probably something like this is what they thought their map, what their general map pool was like, something close to what this. Changing very quickly. That Fracture actually not looking terrible versus Fnatic, although Fnatic's Fracture looked kind of mid. So. Where was the GIF? I don't know. I don't know. Hello, HFFMI. Where's Sliggy? Why is he not streaming VCT China?
The longer time goes on, we're just going to realize that many of the frauds,
I think Sliggy is in China right now for that mecha game, right? He could. Why doesn't he just go to China? Why doesn't he just go to the VCT? He should be. This guy does not work for his living, does he? He goes. He streams from home. Like, if he's in China, sure, you double that up with, like, he should be in that arena. He should be in that arena co-streaming. Oh, it's Oma? Oh, hey, Oma. Thank you very much, Quivers? I don't know how to say your name, but thank you very much for the sub. Flaming Siggy? Of course. Riot wouldn't invite him. I think Riot wouldn't invite me after the slander I give the fucking Chinese league. So I mean they're pro. I mean they lost pro pretty heavy, right? So I'll put it like this, probably. So what do I want to watch? Do I actually want to watch their Abyss? Probably not. I remember I casted that Abyss, so I definitely don't want to watch it. First map I ever casted was this map. No, it was Navi fucking KC making me fucking panicked. What could I watch from them though? Pro Haven Fracture. What did they do on Fracture against Fnatic? Let's have a look at that. We could flame Fnatic at the same time as we watch this Fracture game. Should we watch these two? I remember watching it. The problem is... Oh, I wasn't casting this actually, was I? Or I was casting this. Was I casting this? Yeah, I was. Yes, we're gonna have to listen with the sound off because there's not a chance that I'm listening to myself. Not on stream, anyway. Maybe you only added the thing for primes and not tier 1s. I'll look at it later. I'll look at it later. Which comp do you consider the default on Split? There isn't a default comp on Split. I mean, I guess the most standard comp in my view would be Yoru Breach Tail. Look at this. Look how horrible everyone is. Smoke plus like Viper probably. Senti. That's like the most standard, I think. Okay, let's look at what did Navi do? Ooh, fast camera. This is quite nice already. This looks like prep. This looks like prep, right? Find the chain. What is Alpha supposed to do if Hero cages here and just camps here? Like he's gonna have to call for someone to support him. a lot of the time, right? So I'm already thinking, okay, good prep for this game. A little bit of conditioning top, and then we're just gonna. This is Angel's way of calling this map is heavy, usually like heavier defaults down here, like 3 to 4 people, and then he would use this quite a lot. Like he was a very slow, methodical default kind of. Look how much of a genius I am, by the way. Very, very slow, boring Valorant. The kind of Valorant I like. That's just good prep. Look at that. I think Hero knew, right? Didn't Hero know? He could see. Alpha doesn't realize that he's Alpha's a fucking noob here, right? Alpha, you fucked it, mate. Hero's looking at you, bro. And you're getting pre-fired. I'm gonna put so Fracture, what did they play? Raise, Breach, Fades, Omen, Cypher? Is this... No, wait, Brim Cypher? Brim Cypher, right? Yeah, Brim. Sorry. Like, first round, I'm seeing prep. It's a good sign. Obviously, we don't know 100%, but, like, it looks like good prep so far. Like, they actually did homework. Why did... What? But... What? Oh, no, this is where I was flaming them, right? Why did they play... Who planted the spike, and why did they then decide to play... Rooksik has planted spike safe, and then they've called to go for a CT post plant. Like, this reaction is a good reaction, but like it doesn't match the plant they've got. So they end up going to a CT post plant when it's planted. We call this snacks for some reason in Fnatic, this corner. Like every time there's like a slanted corner somewhere, we would call it snacks. I don't know why. I don't think snacks even made a play from that like a corner before, but I think I always just consider him like a good anchor. So it's like, what the fuck is this? Like, look what they Fnatic do. They just run up and defuse. Like, what? Like, Kayak kicks some shots, but like in my head, I'm like, Pansy's probably going wild right now with Kayak hitting shots. But Navi lost the round about 20 seconds ago. Like, what was this? Like, what was this? Is this a round I can... If we were in Counter-Strike and I was on the analyst desk, I would highlight this round as like, look at the beautiful preparation. Like, we have a nice prepared pistol round, how to anti the chamber, and then what on fucking planet Earth are they doing afterwards? Like, what planet are they, what's happened here?
The longer time goes on, we're just gonna realize.
Thank you very much, Soroni. But like, so I just felt like, am I going to be able to like, if I was to do like a weatherman thing where I bring up like a round, like it's a good round because like they say I can start positively, but like
the longer time goes on.
Thank you very much, Sobel. But how? Like, surely this is like a symptom of a problem. How many teams played a round this badly at the event? Like, this is the worst round of Valorant I've seen in EMEA this year, right? Planting here and then going off. I don't. Koala has a nade. I really don't understand what they were. Maybe someone's got something for me here. Someone might have something to make this okay, but to me, this is the worst Valorant round that I've seen this year. And so, like, it started so well, and then they've just decided to do the worst thing I've ever seen. I have to... How mean do you think I'm going to be able to be? Because that is inexcusable, right? Like, there's not even, like... Sometimes with, like, micro stuff, I'm like, okay, like, someone didn't check a corner. Like, whatever, who cares? Like, it happens to the best of us. This isn't this just happens to the best of us kind of fucking round. This is a I don't know what the fuck has happened to this team kind of round. Did I watch China? No, I don't even watch China, bro. I said to you, the chat. If I was a co-streamer, like, they wouldn't allow me in China. I don't think. I couldn't watch. I don't think I could watch Chinese VCT. Same with APAC, to be honest with you. I know APAC. I know that people love APAC right now, and they're supposed to be not so bad, but some of the rounds, guys, it's hard. And I think EME is kind of shit right now, so where am I supposed to go? Where am I supposed to go for good Valorant? I don't know. Okay, what's the actual approach here? Eco round. What's Milan doing? What's he doing? Bro, to me, I'd be in disbelief after that round. I would not be. There would be no. I'd be like, bro, we've got away with fucking murder. Dish default on an eco round, just orb grabbing around the map. They got this orb, right? Okay, so orb grab default. Okay, I mean Navi have never been a bad Fracture team. It's at a certain point they're probably one of the top 3 teams in the world at it. So Fast Arcade. They kind of don't respect. They basically don't respect Alpha. And to be honest with you, Alpha didn't really give any team with the chamber much to respect. Like he wasn't like phenomenal on the chamber. At least in officials. So like it seemed like they had a bit of a game plan around Alpha here. And then this from Fnatic is great. Like the great like stairs priority, meaning that they could push out A main, but the problem is they overcommit and now fucking Boaster's stuck on site. I think Boaster ends up getting like a kill or 2 maybe. But he definitely shouldn't. This is one thing I'm a bit scared about with the cooling, is like they think that Dish is somewhere you can actually go, but like if Fnatic didn't do this stupid like overcommit to here and actually just sent people back, like they would get absolutely murdered this round. Hero, good lurk position though. Look how late this lurk is. I don't... Yeah. The one, like, I think I tried to explain it in cast where, like, number 1 problem going through this choke is it's a tiny little choke point. Number 2 is it's an elevated choke point, so you have to drop down, so you're not shooting your gun. The third issue is that it puts your pre-plant positions are terrible. So, like, if the opponent has here, you kind of got to run into them, and, you know, defense has, like, a much better time dealing with people running this way into you. Like you have to go push A main back, which is the third problem. It's like the dish exec is not really great. Have I ever got tired of Valorant in general? Tired of Valorant. I get tired of ranked. I get tired. This year, I got worried after Bangkok that I was getting a bit bored of watching teams play badly, because there was a lot of bad play at Bangkok. But Sliggy kind of assured me that Bangkok was what he thought it was not a particularly high skilled tournament. And at the start of the year, the tournaments are generally less skilled. So I got some hopium that like the rest of the year should be better. But right now, like it's kind of difficult because I really don't want to be that guy who's gonna just be like a really big cynic and like hate everything. But at the same time, I'm seeing a lot of shit that is just not good. So like I have to be honest about that. Do you think the constant map changes changes that quality in general of the year and it'll be lower? Yes, Sylv. The quality with map changes will be lower. Teams have a very teams. I don't know if you've seen the film Memento, but it's almost like teams have like this short-term memory loss when like new maps come out sometimes. I have to admit that even like Fnatic's Icebox, I feel like we had a bit of like a moment on that map, and like we kind of lost confidence, and then like threw out our good theory on some level. Yeah. The amount Gecko is being played on Icebox already is one of those like memento moments to me where I think that people have just forgotten what actual good Icebox is, but you know, when the whole of 2024 I think was dominated by Gecko, I guess people just presume it's good. Madrid was a shitfest. Yeah, I'm asking a lot sometimes. Okay. The problem is I'm not asking for anything more than I would ask of a team that I coached, of the players that I'm seeing. So like obviously in Fnatic, like I'm not even holding everyone to the standard of what I was with Fnatic is the problem. Like obviously I probably do have pretty high standards, but like I'm not expecting them to play 2023 Fnatic Valorant or like anything. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I really do try my best to empath. Like this is why like here on all the prep, right? All this prep, I'm putting what are the team's goals and what are their expectations and how do we hit the goals? And I'm using this is what I'm trying to get into. I'm trying to tap into this. I'm not trying to tap into how did they play #1 Valorant. Like when like Pansy's casting, she ain't gonna cast the same way when she's watching fucking like Apex versus when she watches, you know, like Heretics, you know? And it's like it applies, I think, even more to me who's supposed to be breaking down the game on some level, you know? Why Fnatic cannot repeat 2023? Because that's like that's like pretty hard to do. Do you think one version of your Fnatic is the best Val team of all time? Yeah, I think that our 2023 version is the greatest team of all time. I think Gen G were starting to scare me last year. If they had a good chance, they would have scared me. Koala Oop Dry. Attack side Oop. Maybe I need to look into that actually. $2023 Fnatic compared to G2 at the moment. I do think the game is generally played at a higher standard. But like in the context of the era, like our team was better. G2 is the only team, is one of I could count the teams on one hand that I have a huge amount of respect for over the years, and G2's current iteration is one of them. Like, when I mean respect, I mean, like, okay, these guys, like, I respect their craft, you know what I mean? I don't feel that when I watch most teams. What are the other teams? I prefer not to speak. There are some teams I have a respect for the results that they achieved, but don't agree with the ways in which they played. And I think in general, the people that I think that I have respect for the way they've played the game, generally speaking, have consistently got results historically, or like, and won't just have like a tiny period where they're good and then they're not good after or something. I mean, do I approve of Paper X? I absolutely do not approve of Paper X. I love the boys to bits, and I do like Alex a lot, but I do not like how they play Valorant now. And ironically, if they played the way that they could play Valorant, this meta is prime for some Paper Rex shenanigans. Like, we've got Yoru in there, we've got some Teo in there, we've got some fucking hard-hitting W key gaming ready to be had, and they decided to not play it for some reason. Contact stairs, anti-eco, fine. Are these post plants terrible? No. Oh, it's the old school. I mean, I said the prep was good, but then they did also... Wait. This isn't the first time Fnatic played this map, right? Right? They did play it against mates, right? Yeah. I say the prep is good, but then if you've ever watched a Fnatic, like, this is... We did this strat for 2 years straight. Like, this is a strat... Well, we did this for the whole of 2023. It got to the point where people in practice, in PCWs, were literally anti-stratting our fucking alt rounds, you know what I mean? Like, it's so obvious, and yet they still... 2 of them died. So I don't know. How good is the prep? I'm not sure. At the moment, I'll be reserved for the moment and say that prep's good. Am I really expecting a team to go back and watch really old VODs of Fnatic? I think that Angel probably should have flagged this as like a... Fnatic do keep stuff from the past and will use old strats. So, like, could you watch some of their old demos and, like, figure out if they're using anything and, like, you know, if there's any key moments? Like, this is a key moment. Like, you know, when they got Brim ult, it's very likely going to be some trap on A main. Has this turned into full Na'Vi VOD? Yeah, we're watching Na'Vi. Like, I'm trying to... Basically, what I do is I write down all my notes, and then I watch, like, a map or two just to, like, confirm things about their general strategic approach and kind of get into the headspace of them. And I'm not just looking at, like, you know... Not just looking external stuff. I don't just look at VLR and write all my notes. I want to actually, like, look at the games a little bit and see if there's anything I missed. I would love for us to be able to talk about the game or on broadcast. I want to talk about what they're actually doing in the game. I don't want to just talk about the surrounding stuff in a fluffy way. I'd love to be able to actually, you know, have more of a chat about you know, the specifics. So now they've got a top side default and a bottom side default. They just flip the map with their... I mean, Hero needed to run away here. Fnatic are the kind... Like, I could see this coming a mile away too. Fnatic are the kind of team, if they push A main, they're gonna push A main. They ain't fucking around. If they see a Cypher bot side looking scared, they're never gonna let that one slide. So one of the things that I think Fnatic do better than a lot of teams on this map is these A main pushes are legit A main pushes. They're not like, if they think you're weak on bot side, they're gonna fucking punish you, you know what I mean? Whereas how many teams would just look like pussies there and just like be like, oh, there's a Cypher, let's run away. Koala with the AWP again? I don't like it. I don't love it. Get on plat chat? I should go on plat chat more. There's something that Pansy said I should do. I'll message Kurt at some point and say that I want to start flaming people on plat chat. I feel like because I'm not a coach anymore, I'd probably be a better plat chat guest, but I can't promise anything. I can't promise anything. Because as a coach, it's kind of hard for, like, my main, like, every time I got asked a question, my main, like, thought first was, like, how does this affect, like, if I answer this in a certain way, is there going to be, like, any negative effects on me or my team? And quite a lot of the time, it's like, I'd rather just avoid drama when I'm coaching. Whereas, like, if I'm not coaching, it's just me. I can handle some drama. Eggman said has said he will bring more analysts to plat chat, so maybe one episode from yours. More analysts. More analyst. Okay. Do I miss coaching? There are a lot of things I miss about coaching. What I do not miss is having to work 80 hours a week. So that like, you could list all the things I miss, and then on the other side it says work 80 hours a week, and then it's like, those things I quite liked don't actually is it really worth the 80 hours a week? Is it worth? It was worth it when I had no other options, but I feel like my brand's in a place where, like, you know, I can go on the analyst desk, I could do some, well, apparently I could do some casting. I could do some streaming. I could feel it out for a bit. See what's going on. Yeah, I didn't expect to be casting. I mean, it's very just standard default style. I mean, they've got the right read. They should be going B against Fnatic all the time. Again, like, Alpha never really presented a significant threat. They have Prowlers and Camera to beat Chamber. Like, Alpha should have a tough time on this defense, but I think Fnatic should have adjusted. Like, I think if I'm coach here, I'm really thinking hard about Alpha specifically and how we get more value from him, because he's not going to get value sitting arcade against this team. We've already seen their pistol. Navi's pistol round was great for me as, like, an outsider to be like, oh, they've done their prep, they're going to kind of punish Alpha. As a coach, I would be kind of like, okay, well, they've done that to me on pistol round. Now I know that I need to start thinking of solutions quick, because, like, Alpha's not going to be able to play like this the rest of the game. Like, he can't beat the Prowlers and Cameras there. Someone's going to have to help him, or we're going to have to switch some setups up or something. So yeah, so they did kind of, Navi revealed their hand early, but Fnatic haven't adjusted, is basically how I would say. Do I enjoy the casting? I hated it being on the first day because I was giga bad, but I think I was getting there. I'm hoping stage 1 that, like, I kind of just hit the ground running a bit more. I'll be casting stage 1 I'll be casting a bit stage 1. I'll be doing some analyst desk on stage 1. Hey pal, how you doing? Did Pansy give me a lot of tips for casting? Okay, so I'm sidetracking a little bit. So Pansy, but the kind of the way it went was Pansy asked me quite early in, well, she asked me at the end of 2024 if I wanted to cast, and I said no because I was like, that sounds mental. But then I listened to casting more and kind of realized that, like, okay, I think I could do it. And then I was doing my own things at home to try and figure out how I could do it. But long story short, Pansy was just like, don't, like, we won't practice. It's first time you do it, it's gonna be at the arena with me. And I'm like, okay. And she was like, you ain't gonna learn from doing it, like if we practice at home or something. So I was like, okay. But then the first time in the arena, it was rough. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the first time was rough. But it was just like, she's been very kind of because I've been very, it's no surprise to me that, like, the things I need to work on are like the delivery, right, and the tone and the kind of emotion, like the kind of mechanical aspect of your voice. And obviously that's the reason why I said no in the first place. But Pansy's doing a good job of reminding me that, like, the things that I am good at are things that nobody else has really. And so, like, to her, she thinks that those things are a lot easier to work on than the strengths I have. So over time, it should be fine. But I'm doing some things, like I'm inquiring about some things to, like, help me more with the kind of delivery aspect. I won't go into details about those now because it's a bit, I don't know. Long story short, I'll hope to work on the delivery a bit more. Because obviously that's the part that I need to work on. I was thinking of doing, maybe I'll do it on stream, where, like, because Pansy casted with the Sideshow and Ender at Bangkok, I was gonna do something where, like, one thing I'm interested in is I do think my content is good, but I do think that times where, like, I'm not sure what content I should choose to speak about or how to deliver that content, as in, like, what I say. And so what I was gonna do is, like, watch rounds back muted with Pansy and, like, Ender or Sideshow, and kind of write down or say what kind of things I might say in this round, and then watch back with their casting and be like, okay, this is what Ender's pointed out, this is what Sideshow's pointed out. Is that stuff better than what I'm saying? Have they delivered it better than what I'm trying to say? Have they missed stuff? Have I missed stuff? Maybe I don't even know what to say here, and they kind of have some way of talking about something in a way that I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. So I might do that as well. VOD reviewing the cast? I mean, yeah. Pansy's feedback was very, she was pretty direct about it, but she was very soft at the same time. Like, after the first day, she was like, okay, these are two things that you need to do. Just talk louder. And, like, it was just as simple as that. And I was doing a fairly good job of just doing what she was saying. I think that I would get a bit too comfortable after the first map. Like, first map, sometimes I would, like, add the feedback that she'd given me. And then, like, second or third map, I might get a bit lazy about what she's kind of telling me that I need to work on. And then we're doing some casting VOD reviews. We did one, because I was sick one week, with Mitch and Tom, and, like, me and Pansy were in a room, and we're, like, watching each other's casts, and we're kind of talking about stuff we can do, and I was asking a lot of questions about, like, how to get better and stuff. And I'm excited for that. Like, I hope we keep doing that, because that was actually really interesting. And actually felt quite useful. People in sticky YouTube chat said you're making them sleep because it was one side on the first day. I mean, I think this is something that people are so, like, I kind of expect it on some level, because, like, the expectations of being a VCT caster is that you're at the level of VCT casting. But in all reality, you put any fucking human in the position I was in, and they're not going to be good. Like, if your first ever cast is that level, like, the first time you do anything, you're pretty shit at it. So, like, I'll give myself some credit that I think it took some balls to do what I did. To do what I did in front of a bunch of people, knowing I'm going to be shit and kind of embarrassing myself, I think that took some balls. It doesn't feel about time to go flame quite? Not yet, no. So the Alpha did switch position. Instant ult. I'll skip through this quicker. I'll try and get through quicker. Hero still style is still emphasizing his lurking, which I think is good on attack. Like, his attack side, I think his attack side lurking is still very strong, it seems. Like, every single round, we're seeing him getting into positions. So, like, he's giving Angel stuff to work with as a mid-round cooler. I wonder if it's his defense. Like, is it Hero's defense where he's struggling more? Like, he's getting impact on attack sides right now, it's looking like. I wonder if it... Can you break these down to attack and defense? So attack, he did well. Defense, he did, like, not so well. Attack, he did well. Defense, he did whatever. Like way worse. Like, worse. Attack, he went -5. Defense went -7. It seems like Hero is an attack-sided player. It is kind of feeling like. I never really thought about that before. I really remember he had some big holds with us on defense, but I do think he got away with murder in some situations with us. Did I see Hyperot cast a GC? Yeah, of course. When teams go to Masters Champs, do they try to prep for all teams or just go the first group stage first? Slicky's implied that he would like make Bacon do prep for like all the teams before they got to the event or something. And I think that's a waste of time. Like, I think that's a pretty big waste of time. I would start prepping for teams. Like, once we knew who were playing, I would start the prep a bit. My system was probably slightly inefficient because I did leave it a bit late, but generally speaking, I'm not going to prep for teams we haven't played yet. And the problem with prepping against teams that you've not played yet is that they get more games at the tournament to show what they're capable of. Like, if you're prepping against a team before they get to a tournament, sometimes there's like 2-week gap between the tournament start and like their last game. So why would I want to know? Like, they could change a lot of stuff, you know? And they could play a couple of games at the tournament that are way more like different than what they did at home, if that makes sense. Who's scared Hero? I think I talked about it before. We didn't have many options on Fnatic because we had to find someone who was a free agent or someone who was like a low buyout, a very low buyout, I think. And for whatever reason, I think Hero might have been a lower buyout player or something. Our options were mostly unrestricted free agents, and so the list was like, okay, not a great list of players, to be frank about it. And then Hero's name came up, and it was like, well, that guy's just way better than all these people. Like, Alma was pretty, like, Alma said to me, like, look, bro, I don't know Europe that well, so, like, I'm gonna trust what you say, kind of thing. And then Colin was like, yeah, here, they said that Hero's available, what do you think? And I was like, I mean, he's by far the best option in that list. Like, so it wasn't really like we went out and scouted Hero. The problem here, Comet, is that like I kind of gotta like, even though the sample size is low, you kind of gotta make some narratives around like this, like in a way that's like, I guess the job is framing the sample size and being like, are these potential narratives we're gonna run with this if it continues, if the trend continues, I guess. Like we saw this at kickoff. It was only 2 maps, but these are things that we should look out for in case they continue. I guess is the way we should probably frame it. I think there's a subtle difference between this player has played bad, or this team is doing bad, or this is terrible from this team. Oh, what are they doing? And then being like, they're definitely going to continue to do this. Like you know what I mean? It's more like these are things that the team aren't doing so well. These are teams stuff are doing well. Can they continue or work on these things? Was kickoff a representative showing of what they do? I mean, that's a difficult one to answer. Okay, let's go defense quickly. Because they farm defense, right? Is this Fnatic looking like noobs, or did Navi actually have some defense stuff? Full retake B, A main push. Good old standard. Ooh, Navi, I don't know why. I probably said this in the cast. Navi are the best. We're the best team in the world, or FPX, we're the best team in the world, doing those fade, seize, nade combos on B. Like, Zipan would hit this nade every time. And, like, somehow they just knew where the plant spot was every time. Like, whenever we were playing, we're like, we don't really know where they're planting. And yet, not like, FPX seemed to know where we were planting every time. I mean, Fnatic. Recon A main. It's just eco. But they win the eco? Oh no, they did win the round, sorry. Fnatic are doing the one. Okay, so it's still FPX by. So I guess that's something I should probably write. I do think that generally they do have more thought. But like that post plant up here, I don't understand what happened in that round. I do think Fnatic's one Vandal buy is interesting. I do quite like it. If the stats are still true from what I got sent in like 2023 or 2022, I think the Hero Vandal is an interesting, might be supported by numbers. Full retake B again. They seem to have some read on Fnatic. So maybe more good prep. But look, like this is the kind of shit I mean by Navi sometimes. Like, if you were to go to Valoplant and go Valoplant out this setup, what the fuck is going on? They're not even ready with their setup yet. You know what I mean? It's almost like I don't really understand why they're not like it's like they're not structured. Like if in Fnatic we had like a retake B, or like we had, and then we want to play like a weird like 4 to 5 people A, there'd be a very like, okay, you stand here, we got this idea. Or it's almost like they've just last second called a 5-man A stack. And then like someone's just dry peat dish with no stun. Like I don't really understand, what is this? I don't understand what they do on defense sometimes. Like I don't like the idea to stack A is cool, but what's the actual setup? What's the actual idea? Playing Cypher into Ray's fucking server kind of sucks. Okay. It's like some kind of like arcade trap, but Shao hasn't used his stun on... Like I'm thinking here, like, okay, let's put this in a Patreon playbook. Let's pretend I'm me doing like a Patreon playbook. I'm like, okay, Breach is playing here. Like, what's the intention of this round? To me, this round would be called like arcade trap, or like stack or something, right? So the intention is that we want to get some kills on this part of the map. So question 1, why is the Breach not ready to do something? Like, why is Breach not here? Second question, what does Cypher do here to help? That, I guess the camera? But traditionally, like, you obviously don't always want to play your Cypher on the retake site, but like, that's quite often how you think about things. And then the follow-up to that is, okay, so Breach isn't stunning here. Maybe it's a trick. Like, we've got the Fade Prowler, we've got a Brim Smoke. Maybe there's a stun coming here so that it really feels like we're A main. Surprise, we're stacked on Arcade. I could buy that, but Shao's not using his stun, so he's effectively useless here. Or do they just think this Brim Smoke and Fade Prowler is enough to make it feel like an A main control, and then this is going to be a surprise? Maybe? But, like, it's not a particularly strong... It's not a particularly strong setup. Okay, so the stun comes from here at least. But it felt a bit like last second. It didn't really feel like... They're like pinging for it and shit. I don't know. It doesn't feel like a structured setup. I don't know. Did he flash at the start of the round? No, he didn't do anything. Okay. Bro, that's funny. I mean, Bosa needs to go out. That plan could be aftershocked right here. Maybe. Now you got your standard A main approach. Is that... Yeah, outlaw. Okay. Yeah, Na'Vi doing their kind of... Their old kind of protocol of... Yeah. Literally sitting... Na'Vi are probably the best... Have been the best team in the world of be doing retakes on B from CT. Like, their C's nade combos were really strong. And then they somehow get spam kills a lot. The Cypher does help, to be fair. If this was any other team, I'd say they're noobs for not, like, pressuring flanks at all. But for some reason, Na'Vi get away with this shit. As in, like, FPX Na'Vi or whatever. Fnatic should be good enough to deal with that. Nice little Satchel push. Like, this makes sense, right? Like, if this was a Patreon play, you'd be like, okay, it's a stairs push. Stairs push, we have stun, reveal, nice up here. We're playing like a kind of retake kind of vibe setup over here. If they rush A, we're probably going to send a flank in. Like, very easy kind of structured, very structured round. They miss on the protocol pushing out though. But again, for some reason, like, Fnatic are just running through trips, to be honest. Don't know what the fuck they're doing. There's a problem with Fnatic we had. Walking into trips is a pretty bad habit. They're basically just giving Fnatic sites and then just until Fnatic prove to them that they don't walk into trips, they're pretty much just letting them have sight, it seems like. Rooksik trying to do Rooksik things. Rooksik needs to probably stop doing this a lot. I think Rooksik was, like I said earlier, he plays like Chamber a lot. And like loses them a lot of rounds, I think. He's gonna get a kill here, probably, but never mind. He got traded. Okay. Is there anything else to learn from this? Big gamble stack, another CT rotation. I mean, I don't know. Probably not too much to learn from it. Maybe I should watch another VOD at a different point. Good, slow, methodic, good old. Good. Okay, we can move to quit. We can move to quit. Struggle to Lotus and Bind. Yeah. Put mediocre map pool. Kui. Okay. There are some things I need to bring up about Kui, because I wasn't happy with some stuff. Maybe Comet can give me some insights. But there's some things that I was getting a bit annoyed by. I don't know if I was being mean. I don't know if I was feeling angry on the day that I remember thinking about this stuff, but... Okie dokie. Right. Is retaking on A on Fracture of that A main a sell? You generally want A main on the retake if you can, yeah. I know you're looking at lobby right now, but I'm curious what you thought putting Alpha and Chamber. Alpha should be a good Chamber player. I don't think he looked particularly strong on the map, but then at the same time, their main idea was Alpha just play arcade every single round, and good luck, kid. It didn't seem like they had much dynamic play around Alpha's Chamber, to give him some credit. And then his attack side, like their attack looks a little bit dodgy, is the way I would phrase it. Is dodgy the right word? I don't know. Because they didn't have an agent to help them on attack, basically. It felt like they didn't, like, the Chamber meant their attack was weak, and defense, they wouldn't really get much value. He destroyed mates, though. I don't remember that. He went +3. I mean, Kayak destroyed mates. So long story short, Alpha Chamber is something. I mean, we tried it at Champs 20. Like, I know people are weird about this, but I genuinely was testing testing stuff out at Champs 2023. And Alpha Chamber was something I was seeing if like if Chamber came back a bit, like is Alpha on Chamber gonna be the player? And I think that my conclusion was that we'd have to think about it more if Chamber became meta again. Like if we were to do G2 style comps, I'd almost be wanting to probably just put Derek on Chamber at that point. Do you want a template built for your prep? No, I'm good, thanks. I'm a graphic. I can build. I can make stuff better than this because I was a graphic designer, but I'm trying to use Google Slides because it's just easy. I don't particularly. I'm not really looking for it to be beautiful. The graphic designer in me does struggle when I'm looking at this page. Like it's not a good page, but so Koi, where do I start with Koi? What are the team goals? I think the team goals for Koi, for me personally, like narratively coming into the season, they have had a horrible time in the partnership era. Very little positive things to talk about. The main positives being some of the players on their team, and yet it's hard to talk about the positives of players on your team when your team's not playing well. So it's like, despite the fact that they have had good players on paper, some good players on paper, they didn't really do too much. They had a when they were at the end of 2024, they went on a little bit of a run, didn't they? Where they actually did beat a few teams or got close to a few teams, if I remember correctly. I'm talking shit, aren't I? They beat Na'Vi, they beat Giants, they beat Vitality. You know, they could beat teams, but they also just generally lost. And they almost beat Heretic. They should have beat Heretics, and they should have beat Fnatic. On this game, at least. So, like, there were moments for them, but they just generally weren't good, is the TLDR. So I think that, like, one of the things that we saw coming into this year was the kind of big dogs of Koi saying that, like, they wanted to put more emphasis on Valorant, but they legit couldn't get the players that they wanted. Almost, it sounded like. So I think a team goal is going to be play good enough Valorant to attract better talent. Like compare what I've written for Apex. Like they need top 8. Like for Apex, their goals are all about where they finish in the league. For Koi, I don't think it's the same because they don't need to finish somewhere in the league. I think they've got their partnership right, and they probably don't. It might be slightly under question because of their results, but it's not that bad. Like there's been far worse League of Legends teams that have stayed in the partnership in the franchise or whatever. I guess what are your team goals? Comment. I'm happy. Like I'll just put comment answers. Like you give me the narratives if you want. Because to me, I think that your goal as a team is to be frank about it. To create a system to play good enough Valorant to attract better talent. Pretty much. Like I think that like you're creating your job is to create a system with like you've brought in coaching staff that people generally respect. And you need to create a system in which people want to play in the system and not have to be the last round draft of the off season. And I know that you probably publicly can't come out and be like, yeah, my team sucks, but like Because your team actually doesn't even suck, but like, you know. Yeah, okay. More or less. How to hit those goals. How do we hit these goals? Playing a strategic, tactical variation of game backed by young, hungry coaching staff with player buy-in. The problem I have though is that this is kind of what I would argue that I think we're starting to see during kickoff. Actually, I'm gonna start flaming in a bit, but yeah. I think I'll explain. I still think this is the goal, and I think that is the way to hit the goal. Expectations pre-kickoff. I think publicly, generally, people put Koi in the bottom 3. Like here as well, like to play this kind of style of Valorant, like a tactical game that like is like pushed by coaching staff. Like if Gorilla and Comet were on like a team with 5 superstars and wanted to play like a strategic tactical game, the player buy-in is not inevitable, because obviously if you've got big egos in the team, it's not inevitable. But they have a team right now where like if someone on their team turned around and said, I don't want to play this style of Valorant, they could be like, yeah, but you're shit, mate. Like, they could just be like, who are you to tell me this? Like, you are like, next, like, you could be kicked next year. So, like, why are you being an asshole? Whereas if, like, I tried to tell Chronicle, like, like, we're going to play this style, and he was like, I don't want to. And I said, yeah, but you're going to get kicked next year. That's not going to work, is it? Because Chronicle ain't getting kicked, but... I'd say, okay, maybe even bottom 2. I'll put bottom 3, I think is acceptable. Wouldn't they want to be a better Spain representative than Heretics? Bro, that... We're talking for 2025. They ain't doing that in 2025 yet. Like, if like, let's walk before we can run. Their goal for 2025 is to create a system in which they can actually attract the talent that they want. Like, I think that Durka, like, I think it might have just been Sergio was kind of baiting because, like, Sergio's, like, likes Durka. But if they're serious about even teasing the idea of someone like Durka, like, they're gonna have to, to like, give Durka a reason to even consider it, you know what I mean? Like the way that I've seen the Koi kind of content creators and fans react to Koi is that like, please just give us something to work with. And kickoff, there were some hopes, but they didn't play as good as what I think they should have done, to be honest with you. So expectations for stage 1. What are your guys' expectations for stage 1 for Koi after we've seen them in kickoff? Because my narrative goes something like, I was unimpressed with kickoff. Impressed. It's basically how I would see it. Because I do think that they do have, if they put the pieces in the right places, like, the team could work at a much higher level than what they operated at a kickoff. And I'm not saying that like literally like if they put Soulcast on this agent. I just mean like if they play their cards right, I have more hope than what most people probably like. I think most people outside the EMEA probably see Koi and they just thought like, oh, it's Koi. Playoffs minimum? I don't think playoffs minimum. I think it's like I think mid like to shoot for mid table. Like there's still hope for this. I'm not like I'm not putting this. I'm not putting the expectations high. But like, what do I mean by mid table? What does that even mean in the fucking grand scheme of Valorant right now? What does that even mean? I don't think I'm even talking in correct terms anymore. It's not a league system now, is it? It's like, okay. Okay, they're shooting for qualifying. Koi? Yeah. That's kind of how I put it. Like, mid-table is qualifying now. So how did I frame this? Okay. To qualify for... to... Are there any other general narratives about... Do people say they have an easy group? I don't... Is this group really that much scarier than this group? I know people seem to think so, but... I think it's like people are gonna put like... There's a big scary factor on this versus this. Like, people are gonna put a big scary factor on Vitality over here. I think the Koi's better than this. These teams are kind of equal. Is Giant X really that much better than Gentlemates? Are they better than Gentlemates? A tiny bit, maybe? BPL literally beat Fnatic. Like, I guess... Wait, I put this the wrong way around. Like, people probably think like this, but like, realistically, isn't it, this is quite close. This is quite close. If not, Fnatic should be winning this. And this is close. I don't know. I don't think that this is as much a group of death as people think. I think it's because I guess people see that like Na'Vi have potential, Giants have potential, Heretics have potential. Like they all have potential. So when you look at this versus this, you're like, well, why the fuck would Fnatic not be better? When you look at this historically, why would this not be better? You look at this and this, you're like, why would this not be better? This to me is like a crapshoot. So it does. Yeah, all the team. If you flipped a coin, you probably would say that most of the teams over here are better than the teams that over here. But I don't think it's ludicrous. That makes ludicrous. Any other narratives for Koi? I don't know. Let's look at players quickly. Sokas, I do remember his vice being pretty decent, but what maps is he playing Cypher on where he's struggling? He's struggling Cypher Haven, but they got 13-3'd. Got Sokas, good on Vice, uncomfy. Others empty. Shados. I mean, he's not had a great time. Philo has been doing alright. Not amazing. Grabinio is doing way worse than what? Wasn't he highest rated last year? Fly was struggling, but it's IGL. How do you spell his name? Flyer. Struggling mechanically, I'd say. I think I remember him struggling. Struggling for kills. Check. I need to check the VOD for like coach staff. Is it Bambino? I mean, should be a good trio, but some teething issues with kickoff. Overall approach, it was there. I was calling it Koi comp, wasn't I? Whereas like Koi, they were playing like Deadlock, Vice +1, like double Senti. Generally speaking, so they had 3 maps where they played double Senti, and then some standardish, some Teo. So there's lots of Teo, dish, and double Senti Vice. Overall approach, I would say simple. One default-esque approach is on attack. Defense, more considered with double Senti. This is my recomment. Is that I was getting a bit frustrated with some of your attack sides because it looked like you had like one idea, especially on a few maps. And then when that default wasn't working, there was no like plan B. Like it was definitely on Haven. Fracture, I think it was fine because the arcade default was actually pretty okay. But it felt like there was like one thing, and I don't know if that's because Teo was new, and you put Teo on like every map pretty much, and it would have been difficult. But if you compared and contrast, like let's say like a G2 or Sentinels Teo approach versus yours, like they very quickly were doing more dynamic stuff on maps than you guys were. Leaned into game plans too much. Oh, shit. Okay. Sorry, is there not anything? Did I miss anything you said? 2 different identities ideas based on who did most of the work on the map. Trusting your identity too much. Map pool. What's your VO saying? What are you VOing? Am I on YouTube? I didn't even see it. I haven't even got YouTube open. One sec. 8 people actually watching on YouTube. Hey guys, I literally did not see the YouTube chat entirely, so thank you. Hey Jaeger, no, and Lord Strange, which teams are proper today? I'm basically doing a reverse order from 12th to 1st. It just so happens that, you know, 4 people came 9th to 12th, but like it's just random which order I'm doing it in. So hopefully today we're done with 9th to 12th. Because we can then start looking at, what do we look at after that? EMEA kickoff. We look at Gentlemakes and Giants. Can I watch that tomorrow? Yeah, I can watch that tomorrow. Yep. Tuesday, I'm going to be away, so I cannot do the Fnatic BBL, but on Wednesday I should do Fnatic BBL. Thursday I could do Heretics Foot, Friday Liquid Vitality. Unless something random comes up that I've missed in my schedule. So I'm hoping by, because that's good too, because Friday's actually, I've got a meeting on Friday about this stuff, so maybe I should do, maybe I need to speed up shit. I might need to try and do 3 people in one day, Wednesday and Thursday, and get it all done Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm prepared for Friday, because there's a meeting about this stuff on Friday. I think. Okay. Yeah, what is this going on? What's going on here? Koi didn't realize that Liquid are secretly good at Abyss. They picked Liquid's best map. This is some... I mean, I gotta talk about this. They got unlucky. They got a little bit unlucky. So the other here is where shit like this goes. Picked Abyss into Team Liquid. With no info that it's their best map. People will say that the Liquid that played Koi in this part of the season, in this part of kickoff, were just way worse. But I don't know if I quite buy that a team is just suddenly getting better and better and better. So I think this is actually a very good sign for Koi. Like, I wouldn't put too much stock in Liquid having ramped up and looked terrible at the start and really good at the end. Like, I think that's like pretty shallow analysis. I think it's pretty shallow analysis. It's easy analysis, and I don't know if it's correct and true or not. I'm just saying that like it's a very easy thing to say. I do buy into the idea that some teams did play worse against Liquid. That maybe like Heretics did play a bit worse against Liquid. But you kind of at a certain point gotta give them some credit, and then the early team some credit for making these series reasonably close. The only other thing was, I guess, the only thing is then Liquid played this comp, which was just a bad comp. So like if I'm giving them the fact that they picked Abyss, I also have to take away the fact that like this one was won on the basis that Liquid did play a comp that looked tragic, to be honest. It's like I wish I wasn't such a pedant. Couldn't I just allow myself to say this and not be like, well, Team Liquid did kind of troll Fracture? But no, I demand the truth from my Valorant narratives. I demand the truth. Yeah, this was tough to... I'd casted this game. I was sick during this game, to be fair. I was ill when I was casting this game. So I was more angry than usual, but I was very not happy. I was very proud of the fact that I called this series very effectively in terms of like the way the veto would go, and then also if the veto did go this way, the way that like it's going to be a one-sided map 1 and 2, and it's going to be a third map where like it should be more close. And like I think I called that very well. So I'm happy with the analysis I gave for this series. I'm not happy necessarily with how like I was just a bit angry watching, but hello Elsie. Are you casting during stage 1 or are you working at this? I'm doing both. At the moment, I'm scheduled to do both, but you know, stranger things have happened. But as far as I'm aware, I'm pretty confident I'll be doing both. Should we watch a map? Should we just watch a map? No, map pool. Okay, so what are they actually good at? Fracture? I mean, I'll put Haven down here. I mean, I don't even care if it is your worst map or not. I have to put it down here because it was hard to watch. I think the Abyss, I think the rest is probably pretty up in the air. Like maybe Bind second. Probably the rest, like I'm obviously not gonna fucking. But you thought your Lotus was actually your Lotus is probably quite high, right? I'm gonna say something like this. Pearl split. Abyss. Maybe your Abyss should be higher, but it's probably something like me, like spending 10 seconds looking at this and then like reverse engineering and then looking at some results. It's probably close to that, right? Bind, I do remember Bind because you guys lost a lot of situations against Kiko, specifically getting like 3 or 4Ks in situations you probably should have won. I don't think it's worth Is it worth watching a game where you're just getting owned by people, though? Hey, TDM Lemon. Hey, sorry, I didn't see. Okay, should I? I'd prefer to watch one of your maps where you played the double Senti. Fracture. Like, actually break down a little bit. And even on a map where I think that you had decent attack sides, I could still be a bit critical about some of the stuff. I can't watch the Haven or Lotus. It's also me casting as well. I no, I'm not casting this shit, so I think I watched some Fracture. Like, I'd rather give benefit of the doubt with some of the better maps as well. From what I remember of your Fracture, you were defense side. It was like you're making it a problem for the attack to figure out what is behind the Santa Uto. Do I have notes? I might have notes. What's my notes saying? Koi Fracture. Condition A main. So you guys condition A main on defense. They play Vice main and Vice Wall. Euro free. Yeah, so the Euro is free a lot of the time, and you're not sure if the Euro is behind the util or not, or in front of the util. And then there's just some standard North Crunch. Your comp doesn't allow you to go for big crunches like other comps do, but you still have a North Crunch. You did have some aggressive A main walls, maybe? Is that what that means? Generally speaking, you like Sentinels on B and 3A, the kind of default kind of way of playing the map. But with a harder hold on B with the Sentinels. Yeah, like deep way, man. So I wonder what the protocol is if you get fucked over here. I'm surprised. Why are we not pushing? Take this TP and push for 2. The protocol here I think should be that these two get ready to push, and these two should be pushing. Because we know there's not 5 people here. I bet, yeah, we should have south side crunch there, I think. It's easy to say on the mini map, but like like you can hear the Gecko flash. Like you know that Gecko's not gonna flash here by himself. Yeah, I think the protocol's off. But I don't know in situations like this if South side crunching through your own smoke is a bit weird, I guess. When you don't have a prowler. Okay. I mean, they understand the A main push out stuff, but I'd expect this team to know that stuff. Like, at this point, I think everyone knows that you should be pushing out A main a lot. In if you have A main control, they win this round, right? I think I remember them win this round. I don't know how the fuck they win this round, but wait, I can listen to sound actually.
The superstar sub in his previous team, but he'll only get one this time. Play from this squad, and what a pay safe card Thrifty as a result in a round that they invest next to nothing to play into slow.
So this is like the standard snapshot of like a default round. Like 8 pieces of util on fucking B site. Teo able to pressure here. I guess the if I was gonna be really yeah. If I'm game planning against this, I think A main is much weaker than the other teams probably give credit for. A main is weak. I don't think there's big threats there without the breach being played. And then the only threat when we hear the sentinel util, like if we're listening out for center util, like sending a player up close to listen for stuff, the threat's gonna be a Yoru's randomly stood somewhere aggressively where he shouldn't be. Yeah. The nice thing that they can do is like they don't have to play 2 people here, I guess. They can leave a bunch of util here and then just leave someone. So there are dynamic possibilities, but I think already I'm starting to think that again, we have to tie this back to what are the goals of this team. So it's like their goal isn't to necessarily go for like stupidly deep runs. So like to have macro that like can be anti-stratted by teams who actually think properly, which is very few teams, isn't a problem. It's a problem for Liquid and Vitality. Well, Vitality and whoever wants to go for international runs, but not so much for Koi. So I'm probably being too critical. But like I'm starting to think like if I'm anti-stratting this, I think immediately I'm having some ideas for like game plans that you could run. Or things you can call. So there is a narrative potentially that like there are like the comp is a lot harder to play against the first time you see it, and then gets a little bit easier the more footage there is, and therefore should be a good comp to run during kickoff. But the question becomes, do these style of comps work better when you've got a longer season? I think that's a fair way to put that into a narrative. I think that's fair. The next layer is, does this just become deadlock? Do they just use deadlock's buffs? I mean, Comet's kind of implying that, I think he's implying that like that these two are not like their vision. So like maybe it's not going to be a thing for stage 1. I don't want Comet to kind of reveal the hand too much though. But yeah, I think that's a fair narrative point, right? Compositionally, comps good for kickoff style format. Potentially anti-stratable for stage 1 long periods. Like their strength comes from like some, like it's not just the strength, but like some of the strength comes from like we've like imagine being Team Liquid and running into this map and being like, where the fuck is like where do they even stand around this util and stuff? They don't even know, you know what I mean? How do you make an anti-strat and a game plan? It's a very difficult question, and I could like all I'm saying immediately is like the aiming. I've noticed a weakness potentially in Koi being able to hold this space. Like if you're attack and you wanted to come into the space, what are they gonna do to push you off? They're gonna use the Teo Sabos. But that alone can be dodged or pushed through. And so the next layer usually is like a breach stun, but they don't have that. So like it's not that much of a threat, and you can start to think like if that is a weakness in the map, how do you use that to then abuse them? Is basically what I'm thinking. Like if you force them into conceding that space a lot, like how can you use that, or how can you punish them for it? And what common things are they going to do to try and react to that? And how can you kind of, you know? I wouldn't do like a full like fucking necessary game plan around it, but like it'd be something I'd note. Like for my style of coaching, I'd be like kind of note it down, talk to Boast about it. Like, is this something we want to abuse? If early in the game doing a call around this like A main kind of weakness, how do we expect them to react later on? And like, how do you want to shift things when they start like stacking it, or like start like trying to push out other parts of the map, or like maybe they play their sentinels on A and play more retake or something, like, yeah. Do you think Lotus Matter changes with the Deadlock and Waylay incorporation? You think that, are you asking me, do you think Deadlock and Waylay gets played on that map? Or are you asking me, you think Deadlock and Waylay are going to get played on that map, and how do I think about it? What are teams working for in lower end of tier 1, small prize money pools, or just investing into their future improvement? What the prize money teams earn doesn't really have much impact on the profitability for orgs. Do I think Waylay is good? I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're great. I don't think Waylay on Lotus is a good idea. I don't think. Deadlock on Lotus, I'm not a fan of either. But if people think that like the A rubble control is like better now with the net, they might play it. But I don't think I'd play either. Have we spoke about the Kamek change with Serial? I think Serial seems like a good player. Sorry. So you see here, A main control, they rely on the op. Oh god. Situations like this with Kamek where it's like a more experienced player would probably just like ask their teammates like, yo bro, I need some help. So I wonder what Liquid's comms are like in this situation, because it's not easy. Like if I'm Kamek, I'm probably like, it's kind of hard to get through to other people. Like, boys, like I need to res. Can someone help me? Like that's not, it's not clear exactly why you need help or anything. But he needs help. He can't try and res that. And we don't need 3 people looking at heaven right now. So yeah, A main weak. It's been exploited already. Whose smoke is this? Bro, it's the attack smoke, okay. Those kind of smokes always scream to me that it's a fake. Like, who the fuck is smoking here and making no noise? Solkas has the worst gun possible right now. I mean, to be fair, there's not a chance that Koi could play like this against a different comp. If there was a raised tail on the other team, I wonder I wonder how this gets played. The implication is on a game 1, they shouldn't really know what Liquid are doing, really. Unless they prac them and are like confident they're Liquid are going to run this comp. Because this feels game planny. It's either game planny or kind of bad, in my opinion. I don't think you should have a Killjoy sitting in tower against a lot of the comps being played right now. But there's no Raze to like nade out. There's no Teo to salvo out. They don't have a way of actually abusing this tower. Quick, name a woman. Any woman. Any woman. Do scrim comps get leaked? No, it's more like Koi might have played Team Liquid in a scrim. So, like... as comps do get leaked, yes. Comps do get leaked. The ways in which people have talked to me about Brax in the past has implied to me that people know what people are playing in a way that I'm like, come on, guys. Very early in Valorant, some people tried to give us information like that, and I remember telling the boys that if you ever receive anything like that again, you just delete those people from your friends list. I think lock-in was like the tournament where like, because there are so many teams at lock-in, you kind of got a sense for like the people talking about stuff in a way that you're like, okay, a lot of these people just cheat, don't they? A lot of these people are using information that they probably shouldn't be getting. Some people talk a little bit too much. Especially at the bar. Slow Northside crunch, but they got bad economy. Their defense getting rolled right now. Nats fed the up. It's like a head. I think they win this round now. I don't know why. I mean, it helps when they go dish against a Vice. And then Kamek has just technically walled off his team. I mean, there's a cute jump, I guess, but... It's just the dish exec. If I see teams keep doing this dish exec, I'm going to be having words. It's like the worst of the 4 quadrants to exec from. We've seen it like in both odds. Why am I watching Fracture again? I just love Fracture. So it's stuff like this where we're seeing... Wait. I thought they were going to do a fake. Never mind. So flash out. He's getting pressured, so no... Oh, the wall's just being used here this round. Okay. It's interesting. What the fuck? The Euro Op has done almost nothing for them. The Euro Op has been a net negative so far, right? Like a big net negative. I wonder how much they open other maps. I mean, it's a good comp to oop against, I guess, apart from, you know, Cypher's not bad. But they don't have a fade. Yeah, there we go. See, like, how are you supposed to beat that? Even the Gecko Flash happened. So maybe game plan. What's going on? Jake, why are you not watching Game Changers? What's wrong with you? It's because Liz has already got to the point. I can't keep making the joke. I'll end up getting fired. I'll end up getting fired.